Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to give you your April 2016 general readings. I am using the Gilded Tarot deck, continuing to draw 8 cards for the month, 2 cards for each week, with an additional card as your overall theme and general feeling of the month. I always preface these by saying they are general readings, so if they don't apply or resonate the same with everyone who watches, please do check your rising and your moon sign as well. A thank you to those of you who continue to watch and listen and subscribe to my channel. I love reading your feedback and your comments, both those I get on the channel and through my email directly. So thank you and keep those coming. And thank you for those of you who continue to reach out for personal one-on-one readings with me. It is always an honor and always a pleasure to read for you. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to do that. And for those of you who are interested in personal readings, you can click on the About sign on my channel's homepage, and that will give you a little more detail and my contact information. And you can also contact me directly at Maggie, the number one, McGuire at gmail.com. I do readings full time, so I work pretty diligently at getting you your readings pretty quickly. My current turnaround time is between 1 and 4 days. So let's get right into this. This is for Pisces for April 2016. Pisces, our watery, fluid, mercurial fish. What does the month of April hold for you? Pisces, April 2016. Pisces, April 2016 for Pisces. Okay, we begin the month with the Seven of Swords, followed by the Eight of Wands, the Four of Wands, followed by the Nine of Swords, the Strength card, followed by the Nine of Cups in reverse, and the Empress card, followed by the Knight of Wands. As your crowning card, the card that represents the general overall theme and feelings of the reading itself, from the bottom of the deck, we have the Temperance card. Interesting. Looks like a little bit of a month for patience. Let's just take a look, Pisces. Okay, let's begin. So at the beginning of the month, which is right around now, we have the Seven of Swords, followed by the Eight of Wands. So the Seven of Swords, swords being that element of air, and swords of the suit, all about our words and our ideas, our thoughts, our mindset, our perspectives, how we look at things. The Seven of Swords is a card that can be primarily, I've heard it referred to as the thief card because it does show somebody breaking into someone's house in broad daylight and taking a bunch of swords. So this could this could resonate for some of you as somebody actually, I mean, this could always resonate as somebody actually stealing something from you. It's also paired with the communication cards. It could also represent just feeling at a place where you feel depleted, taken from, exploited, or taken advantage of in some way, or just really drained because of another person. And I feel like this is actually to do with conflict, conflict and conflictive communication going back and forth for a lot of you. And it feels like there's something you feel that either is being taken away from you, or you feel as if you're being taken advantage of or exploited in some way. And I feel like this is by somebody you know, or some buddies that you know, or somebody that you have a relationship with. I almost feel like it's something within your family system. Um, Again, the card of being taken from, whether that's in a very tangible financial property sort of way, or just in a time, love, effort, resources kind of way. However it is, Pisces, it looks like you're entering April 2016 just kind of feeling like you're being taken advantage of, feeling kind of drained, feeling like somebody may be getting away with something. And this card is paired with the Eight of Wands, wands being that element of fire and air, all about change, movement, action, power. And the Eight of Wands is a card primarily about communication, swift, fast, powerful communication. Communication going back and forth. This can be on the phone, this can be email, text, um, however you're more prone to get your communication from. But combined with the Seven of Swords, I feel like And again, we have some home-related, family-related cards in this spread too. So I feel like this is a situation that's revolving around family, children, siblings, something within your family system or a group of people very close to you. There's communication going back and forth. I feel kind of just angry communication or negative, conflictive communication, conflict, verbal conflict, just going back and forth between people. And it has to do with feeling as if you're being taken advantage of in some way or being exploited in some way. So I'm sorry to hear that for you. And it looks like it's again around family and it's causing a fair amount of stress and anxiety. We have next the Four of Wands paired with the Nine of Swords. For some of you, you may be involved in a legal case of some kind, and this is communication about this legal case. And again, it may be something that you're fighting for, something you feel has been taken from you that you're trying to get back, or something that you're defending that someone is trying to take from you. For some of you, this could represent as an actual legal matter as well. So next we have the Four of Wands paired with that Nine of Swords. So the Four of Wands in the upright position it can represent, I sometimes refer to this as the unexpected blessing cards because it represents having a surprise or a surprise coming in or something that you're already planning a celebration, an event, the obtaining of a new home, a move to a new home. This can represent something which has connection to home and family, as you can see, as represented by the man and woman and child in the middle of here, but a happy home. The celebration of the culmination of the lot of work of something. Um, and again, it represents, there's a feeling of more than one person celebrating it because it represents a fair amount of investment of something you put into this. And it's something that benefits the home in some way if it doesn't actually represent the home. For some of you, this is going to be the move into a new home, the improvement of a new home, or something to do with your family unit itself, the celebration of a new member of the family. Some of you may be going through adoption. Perhaps that's what some of the legal process of this is. But in the upright position, it's considered a very positive card. And it also speaks of things working out in a better way than you can anticipate. But there's still something about it that worries you. Again, we entered the month, having this communication going back and forth about something to do with either trying to hang on to something, defend something that you've invested something a great deal into that you feel belongs to you. You have a sense of ownership over it, or feeling like something's been taken from you, being exploited or taken advantage of, or trying to get something back that's you feel has been taken from you, and there's communication going back and forth about that. For some of you, this is going to represent an actual legal case, a legal situation. But again, it would represent something to do with your family. It could be the home itself too. Perhaps some of you are supposed to move and there's delays or something's not working out right for that, and it's causing you a fair amount of stress and worry. Some of you may have applied for a loan for your first home and there's been a bug in the works somehow. For some of you, this is going to deal directly with something to do within your family system itself. Some kind of squabble or conflict between relatives, children, parents, siblings, something to do with that. Something that's keeping something that you're striving for. It's about something that you want that has to do with your family, your home, or your family unit somehow, or all of that kind of tied up together. I think this is going to resonate differently depending on who's watching it, as it always does. And again, it's still causing you a fair amount of stress. I feel like there's been a delay or a bug in the works. There's communication going back and forth, and it just feels kind of unstable and conflictive. So that Four of Wands is paired with the Nine of Swords. Again, this thing that you want, this culmination of something you feel like it's been delayed or held up, or someone's trying to actually take it from you. And it's causing you a fair amount of mental stress and anxiety and worry. That's what this Nine of Cards represents. It shows a woman who's sitting up. It's late at night. The moon has risen high in the sky. And there's all those nine swords kind of interlapping and intertwining with each other and pointing down and at her. And this card represents just having so much mental stress and strain and worry about something that it's either keeping you up late at night or it's interfering with how you function during your day. It's just really something that's consuming a lot of your mental and emotional energy. But the advice of the Nine of Swords, I often see this as an illusionary card. And the rest of your cards, I mean, it does look like there's some conflict, there's some going back and forth about whatever it is this is resonating as for you, something to do with your home, your family unit, your family system somehow. And even though it feels like that's very real, I think that you're working it up into your head to be bigger than it really is, Pisces. Um, you tend to be a very watery, mercurial, somewhat emotional kind of person, and you can sometimes get stuck in going back and forth because I feel a sense of circular thinking around this card, just thoughts going around and around and around and having them almost torture you. But again, I always see a certain amount of the energy of this card as illusionary. It's almost as if you've worked it out to be worse in your head than what it actually is going to play out to be because that Four of Wands in the upright position does represent that there's going to be some kind of unexpected blessing around this, that there will be a positive culmination of this thing, and it's going to work out actually in a way that you are not anticipating, that's going to be better than you anticipate. So the strong advice of this card is to stop putting, Pisces, so much mental and emotional energy into worrying and stressing about this thing and causing so much anxiety. You can see there's a little owl on the windowsill here, and I believe that represents, owls always represent that bit of wisdom, insight, and clarity. And it's so close to her. It's almost as if there's an answer, there's a solution, there's the advice there saying it's going to it's going to work out okay. It's not everything, it's not as bad as you think it is, but she's not paying attention to that little owl. She's not looking at it to either get some hope and peace or insight and clarity because she's totally and completely mentally and emotionally consumed with her own worries and own anxieties. So the advice attached to this card, Pisces, especially with it paired with this beautiful upright Four of Wands card, is to stop putting so much mental and emotional energy into it. It's going to wear you out. It's not going to do you any good. And it looks like the cards are pointing towards asking you to have faith that it's going to be okay. It is going to take a fair amount of strength. It looks like we're into about the third week of April already. And I feel like this kind of takes up the bulk of April for you, like the first to the third week. The general energies of it, give or take a few days here and there because the cards don't come attached with specific dates. But on or around the third week, so we're looking at the second and third week of April. Again, I feel like you're just in kind of a waiting period. It feels like things are suspended. There's been a delay in something, and it's requiring something you've really been stressing about. And it's just going to require, again, it's a sense, the message I'm getting is to trust that the path is all right, to trust that you're in the right direction. Everything's going to work out okay. This is going to represent a fair amount of strength and being grounded. There's also, I want to point out, a very strong sense, which I'm feeling right now, of self acceptance, self integration, of being confident in the path that you're on. Again, whatever it is that's going on with this situation you're dealing with, Pisces, I believe the message is to hold on. It's very temporary. I feel like it's going to be very short lived, um, and things are actually going to work out okay, and to have patience, to have strength, and not in that loud, aggressive, brute force and brawn kind of strength, but in the more feminine aspects of strength, a softness, a gentleness, but that stable, firm foundation that comes from knowing you're on the right path, knowing things are going to work out, and having faith and trust in the promise of that. As this woman has done, she has tamed this wild beast, which could almost signify, it could be a metaphor for all those thoughts and those the worries and anxieties that are chewing on you. She has tamed that wild beast. She has made peace with that, with those parts of herself. But she's done it in a gentle sort of way, a very solid, grounded sort of way. She's confident about her path, the path that she's on, and the direction she's going in. Her head is held up high and she is going forward. She is strong, she is patient, she is grounded, but in a gentle, almost quiet kind of strength way. And paired with the strength card, you have the Nine of Cups in reverse. And again, I actually don't see this as not getting what you wish or not getting what you want, because in the upright position, it's the element of cups is water, so it's all about our emotions and love and relationships. And the Nine of Cups is considered the yes card, the wish card, the card of getting what you want, the card of having not just enough, but more than enough to share. In the reverse position, I feel like it's not that you're not going to get this thing that you're working for, this thing that you're fighting for. I just feel like there's been some kind of temporary delay or a little bug in the works or a temporary delay of some kind. There's communication going back and forth about that. And I feel like there's been a bit of delay, but the universe, this is a major arcana card, the strength card, is asking you to be patient, to stay strong, to still retain confidence and trust your intuition on your path, that everything's going to work out okay. It's just for now. There's just a delay, and there's always a reason why, even if we don't see it at the time. Now we arrive at or towards the end of April 2016, and I think that's when things are going to break loose for you and break free for you, and things are going to start looking more positive and gain that movement and flow for you again, Pisces, because we have the Empress card, beautiful major arcana card, paired with the Knight of Wands who comes charging in. So the Empress card, if there's one word I could attach to this card, it is fertility. This is the Empress card. It represents fertility, abundance, rebirth, pregnancy, the ground being ripe. It's the right time to start creative new ideas, projects, to begin moving on something. The Earth Mother is she is the traditional, the ultimate Earth Mother. This is an energy, a person and an energy that loves to nurture things, to plant things, to watch them grow, to feed them, to water them, to watch them grow into beautiful new fruition. So at or towards the end of April 2016, Pisces, it looks like the first half to the first 2/3 of the month has been all about, going for something, feeling like you're going to get something, feeling like it's been taken away, or you're fighting to retain it, or fighting to get it back, or you're fighting to hang on or to have something that you've invested a great deal in. It has something to do with your home, your house, or your family system itself. There's a lot of communication going back and forth. It feels very conflictive and unstable. There's a lot of mental fears, worries, anxieties about it. Again, I feel like it's just a delay in what you want. And you just need to have some patience and some strength and stay confident and intuitive about the path that you're on, because it looks like at the end of the month, the time again becomes ripe. If there's a next step for you to take, I feel like around the end of the third week, beginning of the fourth week would be the time to start pushing again. Any next steps you need to take, that would be the time to do it. Any new projects or any new aspects of new projects or businesses that you're starting, particularly if they have anything to do with your family, pushing something, legal issues, this would be the time to push through with stuff or to add extra stuff to it. Um, Again, I really feel like it has something to do with your house, your home, and your family system itself. But whatever it is that you're considering doing, or where the lack of movement is, it looks like that's going to break through at the end of the month. And the Empress card, because the Empress card represents the time being ripe. Again, for those of you who've been asked to wait on something or to wait on doing something, the end of the month, the last week or so, would be the time to do it. And this is where action is required, active participation is required. We have that Empress paired with the Knight of Wands, again, that suit of air and fire, change, movement, action, power. The Knight of Wands is very fast moving. He comes in, and this is really about, for those of you whom are actively involved in this situation or playing an active role, this card says that the end of the month is the time to begin pushing through things again, to begin touching base to see how this thing is going, implementing next steps if there's next steps to be implemented. And it's going to require active participation, but there's a lot of creative inspiration, fire movement around this card. Again, it looks like the end of the month is where the breakthrough is coming from. This could also, Knights being the bringers of the tarot deck, this could represent somebody coming in at the end of the month when the time is right to help you move this thing along, because again, this is a very active, dynamic, action-oriented sort of card, or it's asking you to um, manifest the energies of the Knight of Wands and get cracking on this thing. Again, if there's next steps for you to do, this is the time to do it towards the end of the month. If things have been stagnant and out of flow and you've been asked to wait, towards the end of the month would be the time to kind of push through with that. But overall, it looks like a challenging month of perhaps waiting for some things. Communication going back and forth, being kind of worried and stressed. And I would suggest, because the end of the month looks like when the breakthrough is coming in, and the cards seem to be quite clearly pointed towards asking you to have patience, have some strength, have faith and hope and intuition in your path. Everything's going to work out better than you anticipated. Try not to get too hung up in that Nine of Swords energy, Pisces, and let your mind and your feelings get away with you and build it up to be bigger in your head and your heart than it actually is. Your crowning card echoes that message as well, because it is the beautiful major arcana card of Temperance, which speaks of And I feel it's all about these energies this month, Pisces, of being tempered, of practicing temperance, of this is a card about being patient and holding opposite extremes of perfect unison, perfect harmony, perfect balance, perfect integration. Again, there's a strong intuitive theme about this card about self acceptance, embracing the path that you're on, having faith in your intuitive abilities that you are on the right path and that it is going to turn out in spite of what you're hearing or the communication that's going on. It's going to turn out better than you anticipate. And don't get caught up in that Nine of Swords energy because getting yourself really torqued up can often lead us to communicate in ways we perhaps later regret. So, again, kind of watch the communication this month, but really just being patient, trying to hold yourself in harmony and in balance, which I know can be sometimes difficult for water signs or people with a lot of water in their natal charts because you're such mercurial, fluid sort of people. But it's just asking you to have patience and have strength. And it looks like the end of the month is where the breakthroughs are going to come in, Pisces. And I know you can do this one because it looks pretty good. Again, I'm not seeing a no. I'm just seeing you're entering the month tired. You feel done, like you're being taken advantage of somehow. But I feel like it's either just a temporary block or a temporary delay. But the end of the month, third, fourth week of the month looks like when it's time for action to be taken up and seen again. So Pisces, I hope that you've enjoyed this reading. I hope that it has resonated at least for some of you. Again, for those of you who haven't, check your rising and your moon sign as well. I hope that it's given you a little bit of insight and clarity. And again, for those of you who are interested in a personal one-on-one reading, you can click on the About sign on my channel's homepage for more information and contact me directly at Maggie, the number one, McGuire at gmail.com, and I would be delighted to work with you. So until I see you in a couple of weeks for the mid-month readings, Pisces, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.